Welcome back. I'm Dr. Andrew Wilner, author of The Locum Life, A Physician's Guide to Locum Tenens. Last time, we talked about the many advantages of working locum tenens. Today, we have to talk about the disadvantages. So I'll just tell a little anecdote. There was a resident who was asking me a lot of questions about locum tenens, so I gave him a copy of the book before it was published. He read the book and he came back to me and he said, Dr. Wilner, I don't want to do this. This is too tough. So the book is very useful. It's not meant to convince you to do locum tenens. It's meant to instruct you on the many advantages as well as disadvantages. So we can start with what I call the 4 C's, which are the disadvantages of locum tenens. The first is career. You know, if you want to be an academic physician and you want to be chairman of the department at the Mayo Clinic or Mass General, locum tenens is not the way to go, right? You need to have a much more spelled out and traditional pathway. If you're not interested in an academic career, then it's fine. Number 2 is credentialing. Credentialing is a nightmare. You have to have a state license, you have to have hospital privileges, you have to have a DEA number, which is specific to that state. And all of these things require a lot of paperwork, takes a lot of time, and is pure secretarial work. Not to mention the fingerprinting and blood tests. And the more you move around from state to state, and the older you get and the more places you've been, the more, and I speak here from experience. At one point I had 10 active licenses. The more you move around, it's just a lot of overhead. And of course, there's no compensation to you for filling out the paperwork. If you're on salary somewhere and they tell you to fill out a form, it's like, okay, they're still paying you, I'll fill out the form. But as a locums physician, these are your nights, these are your weekends. And so one strategy, of course, is to get help from the many resources, including the staffing agencies, and the other is not to move around too much or to go back to places you've been. But credentialing is a big one. Another problem is cancellations. You can cancel an assignment up to 30 days before it starts, and similarly, the hospital or clinic can cancel the assignment. So you've made lots of plans, and the next thing you know, you get a phone call or an email, oh, Dr. Wilner, they don't need you, they made other arrangements. There's no explanation, there's no justification, that's the way the contracts are written. So you never really know if that 6-month assignment is going to happen. And that's because typically the hospital or clinic is recruiting a permanent person, and maybe they are waiting for that person to finish their fellowship or another position, or they haven't found them yet. But as soon as they do, you are disposable and dispensable. So we've got career, credentialing, cancellations, and let's see, what else can we add to that? Well, before we get to the 4th C, we can talk about travel. So travel can be great, right? You see different parts of the country, even the world. But today's air travel, fly here for a week, fly there for a week, get to the airport 2 hours early, flight delay, flight cancellation, eat the airport food, wait. Not always fun. So you have to be someone who knows how to pack, knows how to travel intelligently, knows how to make use of their time, because you're not paid for travel. So flying here for a week, lose a day. Flying back home for a week, lose a day. You have to learn to use that time productively. So lastly, the 4th C is compensation. Now, we all know that the compensation hourly rate for locum tenens can be great, but that does not include vacation time, health insurance, dental insurance, disability insurance, and it doesn't include pension. So you are now a self-employed individual. You have to run your business. You got to make all the numbers work. You got to watch everything. You got to take care of it. You can't just show up for work and your W-2 shows up at the end of the year and everything looks great and you're done. So you are a business owner, and that business is you. So you need an accountant. You need help because you have to learn a lot of self-study because you are responsible. You got to make ends meet. You got to do your quarterly payments to the U.S. government or they're going to come find you. So that is a quick summary of the disadvantages of locum tenens. So read chapter 3, the advantages, read chapter 4, the disadvantages, and the other chapter that I really love in this book is chapter 20, which is interviews with over 15 locum tenens physicians giving their best experiences, their worst experiences, and their advice to a potential locum tenens physician. And if you read those 3 chapters, if you're thinking about locums, it ought to help you make a good decision for you. Well, thanks for watching, and we should have chapter 5 posted very soon. I'm Dr. Andrew Wilner, author of The Locum Life, a physician's guide to locum tenens.